What's up, plant people? I'm here with a quick video. We're going to be talking about the genus Urtica today. Stinging nettle, this is a really good one to know and be able to identify because it hurts. Yes, this is a good one to be able to identify from a distance so you don't have to touch it. Now, this is in a group of the angiosperms. It's closely related to cannabis and figs. So let's talk about some of the features that will help you identify it. Now, notice in this picture that you can actually kind of tell, can you tell the leaf arrangement? You're getting so good at this that you don't even need the stem to be able to tell the leaf arrangement anymore, right? Notice that we've kind of got these pairs of similar sized and therefore aged leaves, like there and there, right? So we can assume that they're probably the same age, meaning they probably arose from the same node. And then we've got that one with that one. This one is the pair of the other one in the pair of that one, right? So opposite. We've got opposite leaves in Urtica. And by the way, the family is Urticaceae. Nice and easy to remember. You can just call it the stinging nettle family if I ever ask. Okay, notice that the flowers, as you can kind of see in this picture, oh, and also this picture, they're not very exciting. There's definitely no possible way I would require you to know the floral formula for these. There's no point. Notice they're drab. You can barely even see that they're flowers. Why? Why do they have flowers like this? Yeah, it's because they do wind pollination. They don't need to be showy and attractive to a pollinator, right? They don't need to even produce nectar or anything. They just need to produce pollen, and they just need to have stigmas attached to their ovaries. Wind pollination, Urtica. Cool. Here's another picture kind of showing the drabness of those flowers. They have conspicuous venation, as you can kind of see in this picture, and the margins are usually pretty drastically serrate like that, kind of big serrations. Here's just a nice look of a botanical illustration. Now, what you can kind of see in this picture, we can't see that much, but we can see that we've got flowers that look like this, and we also have flowers that look like this. We have two different types of flowers. And sometimes they're found on the same plant, and sometimes they're found on different plants. But yes, what we have is unisexual flowers, either monoecious or dioecious plants in this genus. Here's just another look at the leaves. It's really good to just stare at this a lot so you can identify it really well in the field. Serrate margins, opposite leaves. Now, if you were wondering, maybe you've heard this before, you can actually ingest stinging nettle. They are totally edible, and once you saute them on the stovetop, those stinging features will totally disappear, and you can eat them. The way to grab them is to grab them by the undersides of the leaves, which is kind of what's shown in this picture. Grab the underside of the leaf if you ever want to collect them for cooking. And here's what you can do. You can just stick them, saute them. You can make pesto out of stinging nettle. You can kind of just use them as greens. I even threw some leaves in my smoothie once. Okay, spoiler alert, preview. We're picking up the mint family really soon. And here's the thing. The mint family has some members that look really similar to the stinging nettle, the stinging nettles. Notice, in this one, we've got very similar shaped leaves. We've got a similar margin. We also have opposite leaves. Now, the one on the right with these showy flowers here, this is Lamiaceae, the mint family. Now, it's those showy flowers that make these two really starkly different from one another. These are not close relatives, not even closely close. And the big difference between them, since they both have opposite leaves, are those flowers. Urtica, drab, mints, showy. Here's another feature that makes the mints and the stinging nettles so similar. It's their stem. This stem, if we were to take a razor, a nice sharp razor, and do a cross-section through either one of these, what we would see if we turn that cross-section on its side is this. We would see a square. We have square stems in stinging nettle. Or so kind of picture yourself wrapping your fingers around the stem of this. You can kind of roll it around and feel those four edges, those four angles. Cool. And here's another closer up look at that stem. You can kind of see in this picture that it's got 2 out of the 4 sides kind of visible here. Okay, and then now we need to talk finally about these things, right? All over the stem on both sides. We've got all over the petiole, the tops of the leaves. We've got these stinging hairs. These are very impressive hairs. Very, very impressive. Here's a closer up look. Now, here's the special thing about these hairs. They're filled with fluids. They're really just highly modified trichomes. But what they do is when they come into contact with something, the very tip of this hair will sort of fall off immediately. It's just a very, very tiny tip, and it'll expose a little tiny opening that leads to the fluid inside. Especially there's a whole abundance of the fluid down here. So once something has come into contact with this tip, the whole thing, it kind of squishes, right? It gets more narrow, and all of that fluid just shoots out through that hole and into your skin, and it causes itchiness, redness, burning sensation for anywhere between 1 and 24 hours. It really is impressive, though. If you've never tried it, I highly recommend. Just give it a shot. It's something that will kind of make you look at plants maybe in a different way. Okay, I'll see you next time. Bye.